Welcome back to The Horror with Mike.
And Nate.
On this episode, we are going into episode 5 of True Detective Season 2.
True Detective Season 2 is about a bunch of sad people with daddy issues. And there's also a murder that they maybe have to solve. It's all been very slow. It would have been fine were they building dynamic, great characters. They haven't been. They're just sort of treading water. Episode 5, for me, was the first time, episode 5 out of 8, where they made me care about the case. And it was only because of one scene near the end, where they find that shack with a killing chair in it. And had that scene been in the first episode of the season, they might have...
or 2, or 3, or 4.
They might have had something. It might have... The crime scene they find in the first episode is meh. And then when they deeper into it in the second episode, it's still not that interesting.
Nope.
So, before I get into my criticisms of this episode, which are varied and many, I always like to lead off with something positive.
I've got positive stuff to say.
And that was my biggest positive from this episode, is they had one scene, which for the first time in 5 episodes, made me care about them solving the case.
Kind of.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm into it, so it's like, I guess I didn't really think if it interested me, because I'm like, I'm in this.
Me too. I'm resigned to it. Like, I'm going to be watching all these. But no... Objectively, this was the first time I actually... Oh, wow, that...
Oh, I remember...
That's an interesting crime scene.
We're talking about positives, but real quick, the thing is why that didn't spring to my mind is like, I care. But then that's not how the fucking episode ends.
Right.
The episode ends on the lamest bullshit cliffhanger crap. It's like, he knocks on his door and he's like, Vince Vaughn, we need to talk. And I'm like, holy shit, True Detective, you're telling me that I've waited a whole week to watch these people talk.
Yeah.
How exciting. If you would have taken a gun out and just shot Vince Vaughn in the fucking head, it's episode 5, man. Do we really need Vince Vaughn to be fucking alive anymore? Or his wife? Or something?
What are you guys playing for time for?
Oh, God.
And, that's why I hated the ending. If he was gonna shoot Vince Vaughn, which would have been a great moment, it would have happened at the end of this episode. They're not going to make you wait a week, and then at the beginning of next week's episode, then he shoots him.
Even if they did, who cares? Like, I'm already watching your goddamn show. Like, why can't you make me fucking care?
Yeah.
To watch it again. But, again, positive. This is one of my favorite episodes, if not... Nope, it's 2 because of the dream sequence, which we haven't gotten a fucking lick of that shit since.
No, and we won't.
I don't even think we
was
got
a one-off.
any fucking Fred Ward anymore.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. I'm so pissed. But I do think this was my favorite episode thus far. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
They finally did something out of the norm or whatever. They jump 2 months, which I thought was pretty cool. But when Colin Farrell shaving is the most interesting plot development, and that he has like a cleft lip, is literally the most interested I've been. I was like, oh, holy shit. Like, that actually got a reaction out of me. But seriously, dude, like, that is the extent.
Yeah, because he reflected that 2 months had passed, and Rachel McAdams, she was wearing different clothes.
Her facial expression has still not changed.
But she was wearing different clothes. It could have been like 2 days later for her.
Yep.
And it might still be 2 days later for Taylor Kitsch, because it was...
Definitely.
There was no movement on his character whatsoever. You know?
Yeah, it was like they said he's an insurance. It's all said that people changed, but that's it. And then Vince Vaughn lives in a new house. That's the only thing new about him. And basically by the end of the episode, they're all teamed up to be detectives again. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of cool if it would have happened earlier or better. It's like, oh, so we just went through this whole episode to get back where we fucking started.
Right.
There were some good scenes. I really liked anytime Colin Farrell drama comes up. I'm in. And when the lady's like, your son, your wife's, the man who assaulted her that was good because Colin Farrell, and it's like, oh, what does that mean? Where are we going to go from here? Blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, it's like fucking stupid. Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
Or you didn't hear some fucking how that this happened. And I think she even says, he got caught 2 months ago.
Yes.
So, which is right after the shootout. So, like, okay, that happened. Like, I didn't miss that one show.
Well, Colin Farrell is the shining light of True Detective Season 2.
Every moment.
He is 100%
If he wasn't
invested.
in this, I don't think I would. I'd be like, I don't fucking care, Nate.
he's 100% invested in being a character actor, and that's what makes him great. Is he's not grabbing for spotlight on this. He's creating this from the ground up, this really fascinating character.
He shows more engaging emotion when he walks out of that one lady's doorway and just looks at the courtyard with all the kids and turns back and he's like, what the fuck, and walks off. That showed more emotion than all three other actors or any other actor has showed for any of the pivotal shit that's happened to them. Is like, that is an amazing just moment because he's happy, he's sad, he's confused, he's like, what the fuck do I do?
Farrell isn't concerned at any point with looking cool. And everybody else on the show...
Or acting. He's fucking, like, in that shit.
Yeah, he is.
What a waste. I like your idea for True Detective 3. We're going to be putting that up very soon. Look for that. But... yeah, add him with like McConaughey or something. How cool would that fucking be?
It would be it would be incredible from an
I just hope everyone fucking dies other than him.
And he's probably the one that will, just because his character arc.
No, the only reason I would say that he doesn't is because they keep setting up that chick with the cut face who runs the bar.
Yeah. Like
wants to run away with him, and like every time in this episode he leaves the bar, and it shows a close-up of her watching him leave. So that's set up so that at the end, he runs off with her.
And I wouldn't be mad at that. Like,
I wouldn't be mad if he survived. They
could give him like a saccharine, sweet, happy ending, and he earned it. His character earned it. But
I agree.
But he's the only motherfucker earning anything this season, in my book.
Yeah, and like you said, and it only becomes more and more apparent, if this was season 1, there would not have been a season 2.
I don't give any credit to award shows in general, but his performance, this is one of those few times where I will actually, next award season, pay attention, because they have very little credibility. If this guy isn't nominated and wins...
I don't give a shit about that, because it's so fucking obvious. I don't think it needs recognition for one. I want to see where he goes with movies. Don't go back to fucking Total Recall and shit like that. Let's give him something where you can watch Colin Farrell. That's the other thing, is like, everything else takes away from fucking Colin Farrell, and I'm like, fuck you even more for that.
Movies schmovies. I hope they give him another show.
You're completely right.
Let him dig deep another show. Because
I'll take another show of that character. I would 100% watch another season of this character.
As for pretty much the entire rest of the season, this is okay for me. Like, I'm going to give it an average rating. I think, I'll give it like a 5 out of 10. But like 4 out of that 5 is just for him,
Yeah, I would give it a 4 because I would have stopped by now. Like,
I would have as well.
I don't watch stuff like this. I don't care about stuff like it's like I haven't watched The Wire yet. I'm not going to sit through this bullshit if it wasn't for Colin Farrell and me and you reviewing it. If I haven't seen The Wire, I got better shit to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, 4 out of 10 for me,
and a 5 out of 10 for me. And I can't, I don't go lower than that, just simply because of Colin Farrell has me invested in his minutes of the show.
If I didn't just not want to go against what I just said, I may, but the thing is like, it's Colin Farrell, and I do appreciate the time jump. The scene where he beats that one guy's ass. Yeah. I wouldn't even include the ending. That was not enough to make me give a shit.
No, definitely not. So now we're done talking about the positives, haha. Before we wrap this up, I wanted to mention what I consider to be a line of dialogue so bad that it was like embarrassing. It made the whole show, it made me feel like I'd been tricked.
Oh my god, I forgot.
Into watching something that at its heart is really stupid, but I just got tricked into thinking it was better than that.
Right. Holy wow.
A line of dialogue that would have been perfect in Grandma's Boy. It would have gotten a big laugh in Grandma's Boy. Or in some, Van Wilder 3 or something. But when Vince Vaughn, who's a grown man and a businessman and a gangster, tells his wife that it feels like his heart has blue balls. Like, it's such a wide miss they go for like this super cool, like truncated noir style,
and that's fine, but whew.
But if you think that My Heart Has Blue Balls is noir, then you've got the wrong goddamn approach.
I think my mind forced that out because I even like the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world to watch True Detective 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's too good at Blue Balls of the Heart. And I'm just like, and then it wiped from my memory because I was like, holy shit, I got way too much to worry about in life to give a fucking shit about this.
Yeah, indeed. So my driving force for watching the show now is just to see if they can do worse. Like, can they come up with a worse line than that?
No, the thing is, I think they are heading somewhere. And that's what got it. I think the last 2 episodes are at least going to be entertaining, hopefully, because that's probably what got it greenlit and what he was like, oh, I have this idea for an ending, because he obviously didn't have an idea for a beginning, a middle.
Right.
So they've got to be leading up to something where we'll be like, that was pretty cool.
This is my theory. 2 out of these last 3 episodes, I don't know which 2, are going to be gangbusters. But it doesn't matter, because if they are, all this does is prove that you could have made a great show, but you decided to play for time and make me watch 5 or 6 humdrum hours to set up a couple of good hours. Like, if the whole thing is just average, then it's going to be, well, this was the best this writer could do. But if it does build up to something great, it's going to retroactively piss me off a lot more, because why? Be great from the beginning. Don't anticipate everybody's going to put up with your bullshit for a long time just to have an ending.